Yo guys, what's going on? It's your Phoenix back with another video today. Today I got a very interesting video for you guys containing 24 new chests. And I know the title says 8 because it's 8 spots, but each spot can contain up to 3 chests. So 24 chests total that you might or might not know about that they added in the Christmas update. So real quick before I get into this, in case you didn't know, Epic Games included a bunch of trees around the map. They're kind of like big Christmas trees that are like 30 feet or whatever tall, and I'll have gameplay up right now so you know what I mean, kind of how they look like. Anyways, and they added these all over across the map, and each one of these trees can drop anywhere from 1 to 3 chests when you land. Really, they'll give you 0, but usually they give you 1 to 3. For me, most commonly 2. And they actually have 8 of these trees spread across the map, and I'll be showing you all 8 of these spots, which could give you up to 24 chests. So let's get straight into it. The first Christmas tree of the 8 is down in everyone's favorite part of the map, Plush Factory. You know where they make the toilets and all? Really cool spot, you should really check it out. This tree is insanely easy to spot as it is really the only glowing object in Plush Factory, and it is like 50 feet tall, so if you don't see it, I can't help you with that one. Now, there are in fact actually 2 other chests very close by this tree. One is to the truck to your left, and the other one is by the crates to your right. Now, this spot only has one big downside, being that you usually never have any enemies near you, which for me, I kind of like having at least one squad so I can get a little bit of action, and you need to run a whole while to get back to civilization. So if you go to this spot, regardless of if it's during this update or after this update or anytime really, you're pretty much going to be running a lot and getting materials and stuff, so it's not really a kill place to land. However, let's get on to the second tree, which is up by Wailing Wood southwest of the maze. The only downside to this spot is that besides the maze, there's nothing too close to loot. You can run down to the south, I guess, to kind of where the containers are, or you could go to Lonely Lodge, or you could actually go to the maze and then to the north where that one building is. It kind of looks like a player made building, or you could even run to the maze on the left. So I guess there are some spots. The only thing is there are spots where a lot of other people are going to land. Like if you land there, don't expect to still have something to loot in tomato by the time you get over there. By the containers, maybe you might have a couple of scraps that the other team didn't want, but most likely if you're there, you're gonna have to run to the maze and hope that you got good loot, and then run north to a more rural area where not too many players are and they haven't looted it yet. On to the third tree, a little south of here to the smack dab middle of Retail Row, and this is, as you know, a hotspot for many people, so definitely expect other teams nearby and be ready to loot that tree as soon as you can. Now, there are some trees and fences to give you just a little cover. Overall, this is actually one of my favorite trees to go to, just because I like being in a spot where there's so much to loot. And for those of you who don't know me, I like having at least one squad, as I said earlier, in a spot. So retail usually has more than one squad, but I definitely love a place where I can just run and get a tree, get 3 chests, then run to my right into a store, get another 2 chests, and get some loot off the ground, and then get 3 ammo boxes. You know, it's just really cool. And overall, this is one of my more favorite spots. Not my absolute favorite, I'll save that one for the last, but probably my second, third favorite, one of those 2. Now for the fourth tree to the northwest and into Loot Lake. Now here's the deal with this one. If you don't get the loot right away, you better hope no one sees you running in the water to land, because if you don't get loot here, you gotta run through the water in some direction because it's an island, and you know, you're pretty easy to get hit in water. And if you're building, if you somehow manage to get enough materials to even build a bridge, well, people are gonna see you building a bridge. So yeah, that's the downside with this one, is you kind of need to really hope for luck on this one and hope that you get more than 1 chest. So this one is not a spot for squads. However, if you're playing maybe singles or duos, then yeah, this is definitely a really good spot to go to. And don't ask me why I said singles instead of solo. But for the better news, to Anarchy Acres, and this tree is actually a very good alternative to the stables or the house in Anarchy. and it almost always gives me 3 chests. I don't know about you guys, but I've never gotten 1 chest from the spot. I've always gotten 2 or 3, most of the times 3. And you can just go here, run a little to the barn, or maybe even south to those couple of buildings that no one really goes to. And this is a pretty good spot to go to with a squad. And if you get decent loot, you should be able to fight any team that's nearby and take their loot if they looted grandma's house or barns or stables. So yeah, overall this is a really nice spot to go to, especially if you're in duos or squads. Next up on the list for number 6, we have a nice place like retail where you can get some action off the bat, but not too much, and have many alternatives to loot after the chests at the tree are looted. And this spot is actually Pleasant Park. The reason I say that the spot is very nice is because you have some games where no one goes Pleasant, some games where a lot of people go Pleasant, but usually you have maybe 1 squad, somewhere between like 0 and 2 squads, most of the time 1 squad, and you can just get a quick 2-3 chest at that tree, run to one of the houses, and just stock up there. And after you beat the team, Pleasant has a lot of loot. It's kind of like retail. It's that same deal. If you can beat that squad, you just got a whole city's worth of loot. That's an insane amount of loot. If you don't get a scar or a sniper or a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher, at least one of those things out of there, you have some serious bad luck, and I can't do anything about that. For number 7, we have Greasy Grove, a place I have a strong grudge against, but it does give you some pretty good loot, and I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty decent spot to go to. And although I absolutely hate Greasy and I can't stand it for my guts, I'm not going to discourage you guys from going there because it's a really good spot. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you have a lot of materials to loot. It's kind of like Pleasant Retail, and the circle goes here pretty often. I mean, if the circle's on the left side of the map, your best odds are it's going to land somewhere between Pleasant and Greasy. That's what I've learned this game. If the circle is not on the right side of the map, it's going to land somewhere between Pleasant and Greasy. So it's a pretty good spot. You usually have a 50-50 chance that you're going to be in the first 2 circles with Greasy. Now the best for last. My favorite spot to land in Fortnite for the new Christmas update. Fatal Fields. This little farm has the perfect amount of chest materials and has mediocre amounts of squads landing here. So not too many, not too little, because I like a little bit of fight, but not too much. And sometimes even no one lands here because not too many people like Fatal. I don't understand why. It's actually a really good spot. This will give you enough loot for your team with all chests nearby. Will give you not 1 but 2 rock quarries, so you can get like over 1,000 rock, a shit ton of chests, and a little fight. So this is just my favorite spot to go to because it has a little action, and I love having enough materials to build a base, and I hate wood, so I mean, whoever says go moisty mortar so you can get 1,000 wood, nope. I'm just gonna go to the rock quarry and get brick, because brick's way better than wood. Anyways, that's my favorite spot. You guys should definitely check that one out, and if you don't, well, that kind of offends me, so just please be a nice person to check that spot out, okay? I think it's really good. I'm just trying to help you guys. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Phoenix out. Peace.
I be that young rapping dude, might just trap with you. Coming with the thunder, baby, might just clap it crew. I roll out in the morning light, whip that Harley bike.